All right, clap it up. In the building. Israeli School of UPK. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commander in Hana. We've been teaching the truth since '69 that the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are, in fact, the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. This is the One West News Desk, bringing your local, national, and international news to your news feed to keep you plugged in on what's going on in the earth and how that is relevant to you and all of y'all lives. You understand? I'm your host, Cap Saparia, along with
Officer Mathum.
We're going to be bringing out some pretty, some might say concerning headlines out today that, you know, probably is not on your feed line. We probably been saturated with Drake, saturated with what else they talking about online? A bunch of Drake about the sister, the doctor, the fake doctor, the fake therapist. It's a lot of hoopla out there, or what have you. But we're going to get a couple of articles to, keep you plugged into what's going on in the world, and really things that's that you should be abreast about. You understand? But anything to open with.
What you want to start with?
Not just any opening remarks you want.
Oh no, sir. But we just here to bring y'all the news that you're not going to hear. You know what I mean? So we like to keep our people up on what's really going on and what really, what our real concerns are. We got a couple of articles that have some real concerns, especially with this war going on. So once we get into it, you'll understand what we're talking about.
We'll go into Trump's recent rant. I'll send this to you real quick, if I could.
Come, sir.
His recent rant. Of course, he don't know how to stay off social media. He don't know how to be discreet. He don't know how to be a real leader.
Right.
So he always popping off at the mouth on Truth Social. The other social media, whatever, or probably in like press conference, talking out the side of his neck. This is his usual, psychopathic rhetoric here. But he put out a warning here. Let's get this article here.
Sir. This article is by the Guardian. Tyler's first thing: Trump warns clock is ticking for Iran to secure a peace deal.
Now they still on this peace deal, huh?
Yeah, definitely on that. I mean, this is the thing. Before we really get into it, the whole thing with a peace deal. When you making a peace deal and when you making demands, the person who's winning the war usually is the one who makes the demands. Now, seeing that America's really getting their heads stomped in, it's nothing that America can do to Iran to open up the Straits of Hormuz, right? It's nothing that they can do. They can't really knock their economy off because they've been, for the last 47 years, they've been under sanctions. If you haven't destroyed them in 47 years over sanctions, what makes you think you can do anything else? I mean, really, the only thing they can do is drop a bomb or go to war. You understand? And going really didn't work out for them these last two times that they went to war with them. So the only thing they really can do is drop a bomb. You understand? I mean, Iran, Russia, and China, all three of those countries, three countries they're trying to destroy, are self-sufficient. You understand? They don't really need anything from outside. So with that being said, we can jump into the article.
And look, Iran got the leverage because of how, I'm gonna bring something up before we continue on this straight here.
Come on, sir.
It's important to recognize this. Iran strategically did this.
Right.
This is I'm getting back at America. This is warfare. This is the internet. It's on all fronts.
Right.
It's on the political front, propaganda front, and the economic front, and a military front.
Yep.
and they trying to utilize every phase in the game here. What Iran understands is America is socialist, and the so-called land of opportunity. This is the thing, right? America has oil. They have it, but they're not selling it to you at the standard rate. They're selling it to everybody else now. They can stop the price gouging and everything, but this is the land of prosperity and money, because the oil isn't ran by the people or the government per se. Corporations is going to get as much money as they can.
Right. Which is Salakia,
No, please.
which is what we would call capitalism.
Exactly. So Iran is playing, but America will never say the system that the economic system that we have has harmed us.
Right.
They'll just say, well, the strait needs to be open so we can stop selling our oil to XYZ countries, right? And bring the price back down. They're not going to outwardly say that, but that's what's really going on,
right?
But if the strait is open, there's a what you call competition back in the game, right? It's going to bring the prices back down. But America is not starving for oil. We got to get all the oil from the Middle East to survive. Yo, they playing it right in your face, young. Exxon, BP, what's the other big one? Shell.
Mm-hmm.
They got oil right over here. They got the means to keep this thing running in the so-called Americas, right, and in the United States. But they're going to chase the bag before caring about their own people. This is capitalism. Yes. This is the American way. And the American way hurts Americans. That's what Donald Trump can't say, because he's going to hurt his rich friends.
Yep. Just like you said, right? And the whole thing about capitalism is everything in America is built on what they call it, shares, what they call it, stocks, but it's the shareholders. Everything that America has is all about shareholders. And shareholders, when you have shareholders and they buy shares of your company must make a certain amount of money every year, and those shares have to go up and they have to continually make money. So in order for them to continually make money, a lot of the industry, and this is the reason why a lot of the industries of America moved across seas. This is the reason why every time you call in about your cell phone, there's something wrong with your cell phone, East Indian or somebody picks up the phone. Every time you turn around and you need a part for your vehicle, you got to call over to China, or you got to call to Japan, or you got to call Taiwan or something. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's cheaper, and America uses other countries to come in at the low so that they can sell at the high and satisfy their shareholders. And that's just like Cap said earlier, it's what capitalism is about. And this capitalism eventually destroys a country, as we see is happening now, because everything that they had over here. Think about when I was young, Bethlehem Steel used to be the big place to work for in Baltimore. You understand? And Baltimore had multiple big industries that made Baltimore run, just like Detroit, Motor City, because that's where the car industry was located at. Major cities, the big major cities, especially black cities, always had something big that made America go. And a lot of these
corporations,
not the corporations, but a lot of these broken down cities and towns through America is because of capitalism and what America did to their own industries that caused us to be in the condition that we in now. And again, most of the people right now, you see a lot of people doing Uber, you see a lot of people doing Lyft, You see a lot of people doing Amazon and different things like that because so many industries have left America and people need incomes. Now everybody's either a delivery driver or something like that, trying to make ends meet. A lot of people got them as second jobs and stuff like that. You understand? And still struggling. We all still struggling out here. You understand what I'm saying? It's hard to, even with nice, decent incomes as we look at it, two people together, it's still a struggle.
Still a struggle.
You understand? And this is what capitalism doing. This is what's happening to America right now. You know. You want to get into this article?
We can get some.
It says U.S. president says there won't be anything left of the country if it does not reach an agreement. Plus, how to become emotionally mature. Oh, whoops, went too far. Donald Trump has voiced impatience at a deadlock over peace talks with Iran. Posting on social media for Iran, the clock is ticking and they better get moving fast or there won't be anything left of them. Time is of the essence.
Yeah, so they already got plans. You see how there's no news coming from Gaza?
Yeah.
Because Gaza is leveled, is destroyed. They killed the people, killed and dispersed the people, and they totally leveled the land.
Right.
No reporters, no news out of Gaza. If it is, it's heavily suppressed. But they took over and they destroyed the entire land. They bombed it to oblivion. Now you got bulldozers making way for new infrastructure. And you know what? The world just said, okay. the so-called world you call a utopia and the world of liberation and the United Nations and everybody's united X, Y, and Z. Everybody just said okay. The entire NATO, they said okay. The European, the United Nations, nobody stepped up. You know what I mean? But we're gonna get some more of this though.
Crazy thing is, right? We always thought the United Nations was the controlling factor of the earth. And now we're realizing that the United Nations has no power, just like all of these other small countries have no power. The United States runs the United Nations. And just like they said before, right? Just like we talked about before, America is playing its same hand, its same cards that it played after World War I and World War II. The whole point is if America can get the world to destroy itself, they feel like because they're, away from all the other countries, they surrounded by two oceans, the Atlantic on one side and the Pacific on the other side. All the other nations are close enough where they can war and shoot bombs and everything. America's the only country that's out of reach of all the other countries, except for Cuba. And this is the reason why they want to keep a foothold over Cuba. You understand what I'm saying? And America's playing that same hand again. If they can get the whole world to go at war with each other and get them to destroy each other, get them to take down China, get them to take down Russia and Iran, they stand to run the globe for another 100 years. And that's the whole plan behind America. Same thing they did after World War I and World War II. They're expecting it. You know what I mean? So what we're looking at is major history. We living in major history right now. And people need to wake up and understand what's really going on. And I understand everybody got a social life, a life after work, a life after all of the things. But this right here, if you don't know what's going on, you're going to get caught up at a time where it's going to blow your mind when everything starts to drop and fall. You understand? And you don't have a way out. You don't have a contingent plan. Understand? According to Axios, the U.S. president is due to meet his national security team tomorrow to discuss the next steps Trump also spoke to Benjamin Netanyahu before an Israeli security cabinet focused on Iran, Lebanon, and Gaza amid growing speculations in areas of compromise.
No signs of compromise. They're basically telling you what their plans are. Right after they didn't level Gaza, they started with Lebanon, and then moved right on into Iran. This is their whole plan all along. Yep. These beasts are trying to deceive you, and saying they want all the enriched uranium out of Iran. Meanwhile, not so many months ago, they said they done bombed all their nuclear facilities and plant. They said they totally obliterated their entire infrastructure as far as nuclear capabilities is concerned. Now J.D. Vance is talking about, well, they still have intentions. You can't even think about having a nuke, and you got that's grounds for unaliving people, unaliving civilians, and then he threatened. He said he threatened to destroy bridges and everything, and civilian areas. This is you dealing with an absolute monster, a beast. He's a beast. He has no morality, no regard for life. And you call America the land of the free and the prosperous, and the land of liberation and freedom and justice and democracy. When really you're just a bully.
Right.
You're a bully. And what America doesn't understand, the United States, of course, the Israelis, the people that sit at the top of the seat is that this is your last war. This is your last push for total dominance over the entire earth.
Right.
This World War III that's coming, or more or less that's here, is the third world that the Bible speaks of, and is the beginning of the coming of Christ in the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
And that, Mr. Oppressor. Right. Okay. Let's see some more.
On the Republican Party, the president went head to head yesterday with his longtime adversary, Thomas Macy, the Kentucky Congressman. Think about that, right? Trump has the worst president. I know when he first,
it's over 60% now, right? It's like,
no,
I'm talking about in the negative.
Yeah, in the negative. It's actually at 7. When you look at it, right? When he became president the first time, his approval rating was a lot. Got that seat that he endorsed, and if I'm not mistaken, his first presidency, everybody he endorsed got their seat. They're not getting into their seat, the seat that they want. I forgot who he endorsed last week. The person he endorsed last week lost. And then this guy right here, which he's not endorsing, they say have a pretty good chance of winning over Trump anyway. Even Trump's party is split in half on Trump's MAGA party is all tore apart. You understand? So,
because a lot of these MAGA cats, they couldn't stand them Israelis,
right?
So they like want to face and it's like, I'm gonna watch my. You got Donald Trump, damn near bowing down to Benjamin Netanyahu,
right?
And meanwhile, Aryan Nation homies, you know what I'm saying? Y'all in there talk about this and that about the so-called Jewish man,
right?
So you don't know what side to play. You don't know who they hate. As long as they hate the so-called blacks and Hispanics, you're gonna choose that team.
Right.
And if you're on the other side of the table, you also hate blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You just don't know it.
Yep.
You hit them. The system gives a damn about black women, black men, our families, our traditions. You know what I'm saying? They go about the same things. They just frame it a different way. You know what I'm saying? Kamala Harris and your beloved what's the name? You know, they allowed the Gaza to continue.
Yeah.
They allowed it. They had full authority, full range and power to stop the Israelis from unaliving millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people. They allowed it, but you blame
Right.
anti-system's fault. You got cats, liberals and MAGA alike, but really believing like this system can be fixed. It may seem like it. Hit the water for everybody checking in. We see y'all online or what have you. Seem like, oh, it's coming down to the end. That's all that. That's all that propaganda.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shalom, y'all about you super thug. Brother out Eastern North Carolina, the water for joining us. Make sure every day, Madame, we coming to agreement. We coming down to agreement, but they got to do this. They got to do that. I keep hearing the same narrative over and over again, and they just keeping you afloat like a TV show. You ever see got a TV show that's inching their way to find is going to find this ain't the end game with these talks of a ceasefire, talks of a negotiation with I think it was Pakistan and India trying to negotiate between them.
Well, it was Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Negotiated. Yeah. Crazy thing is, just like we said before, sir, if I may, America's not in the position to make demands, and Iran said they're not coming to the table under the conditions of America, so they're ready for war. Even the people,
also 50 megawatts, like the slow
even the people in the streets of Iran said they're ready for war. They don't trust America. Why should the people who every time they come to the negotiating table, you unalive the negotiators? They did that 3 different times. So why should they trust America? They just like they said, they don't trust Steve Witkoff or Jared Kushner. They said every time they send them, somebody gets unalived. So they said they don't trust them at all. And when they come to the table, if they can't stand on the demands of Iran, and Iran is also asking for reparations of the bombing that America illegally did was our country. You understand? No, I don't want to sidebar too much, but I really want to know, what are they doing with Maduro right now?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? All of this stuff is going on, especially with this thing with Iran and that Maduro thing. They sitting on Maduro with no charges. How many times have we seen brothers and sisters get locked up and be locked up for 3 or 4 years, right, and then get released with no charges after they destroy your whole life?
It's damn near a war crime.
Right. It is a war crime. And it's a war crime. And this is what's terrible about it. It's a war crime that us as a people, because we so divided, it's nothing that we can do about it. You understand? And we have people, we have leaders who, instead of helping their own people, they rather accept the gold from America to keep us oppressed, not realizing they oppress themselves. You understand? Think about this too, Cap. We talk about those Epstein files, right? That one major thing, or that one thing that a lot of these analysts are talking about, that the Israelis have over Trump. But a lot of people don't really understand that Epstein was a part of the Iran-Contra scandal.
Okay.
They said Epstein was the one cleaning out the planes when the planes came in with the drugs. He had his team in there cleaning the planes up from all of the drugs, so the drugs couldn't be detected in the planes after that. You understand? So the Israelis was a part of the Iran-Contra scandal. So when we start sitting here looking at it, and they start talking about how, and they got all these propaganda videos and news what they do, interviews of how blacks and Jews always got along. We never got along with them. And they were always out to destroy us. And they came out with that a couple of days ago. One of the analysts talked about that. They got articles and papers on Epstein cleaning out those government planes, those army planes that they were flying the drugs into the country with, and cleaning those planes out. Had his team cleaning those planes out. You understand? We keep looking at these people as though these people have loved us at one point in time. They never loved us. We got to start thinking as a family, as a nation captured in a nation. We keep thinking we are part of this nation, but we not.
100%. Let's move to the next article here. We got also in the news.
That's one you just sent me.
Benjamin Netanyahu is not happy about what the New York Times published recently. I think it was in the last 3 days.
Right.
And I saw it on TikTok at first, but it was a full blown story coverage and everything like that.
Right.
With a respected, journalist firm or what have you.
Right.
Like the New York Times. And it was full blown coverage, full blown story. And they releasing the Netanyahu files, I guess, or the IDF files or what have you, because these Israeli forces, they doing all types of sexual assaults, raping men, women, children, or what have you. They're ruthless bastards, man.
Right.
And claiming to be God's chosen people. And listen, don't think for 1 second that American forces ain't doing the same thing because they are. We just were talking about that earlier.
Just talking about that.
They do the same thing. They go over there, all that raping they doing. They're a bunch of sexual deviants. You understand? A bunch of sexual deviants, rapists, child molesters. I know it sounds harsh, it seems harsh, but this is the reality of the nature of our oppressors.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Crazy thing is, too, Salakia, sir, if I may, New York Times was one of the biggest defender of the so-called Israeli people.
Mm-hmm.
New York Times was and for them to turn and defend a journalist that's a big shot right there. You understand? Because New York Times is one of the biggest sources of information that we look to for good, solid information. We know now that a lot of this information is not solid, but this is one of the places that we go for good, solid information. This right here is good, solid information. I'm going to read this. It says, New York Times defends journalists after Israel threatens to sue. The New York Times said, libel action threatened against it by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over an article alleging sexual assault against Palestinian detainees.
You see his arrogance and his ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like Trump. That's why they buddies.
Yeah.
They want to get out there and see anything or anybody that seems against them. Like, you can't even have an accurate report on what's really happening. We talking about, this is journalism.
Right.
He didn't just get on the internet and type, this is what I think the Israelis be doing.
Right.
It's a professional journalism. Got, interviews and different accounts with several individuals in the region or what have you. Sources. There you go.
Yep.
That's what a journalist does. Article after article, interview after interview, boiling down to the facts. So much so that it deserves to get published by the New York Times.
Right.
Are you kidding me? And he's like, now he's upset. Let's get some more.
Right. It says, let me go back up. Read again. The New York Times has said its libel action threatened against it by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over an article alleging sexual assault against Palestinian detainees by Israeli security services is without merit. And that's the word he always uses when somebody comes up with something negative against them. It's without merit. It responded after Netanyahu and his foreign minister issued a statement saying they had ordered the initiation of a defamation lawsuit. It follows the publication on Monday of the article, which claimed there was a pattern of widespread Israeli sexual violence against men, women, and even children carried out by soldiers, settlers, interrogators, and prison guards.
Now look, let me make this clear, right? They are raping men,
right?
Raping women, and raping children,
right?
Israeli defense forces or Israeli forces, prison guards, soldiers, everybody affiliated with them,
right?
There was a story. I'm gonna probably find it today if I have got time. They was trying to break down the doors to get the raping, breaking down doors to get after these men. It's how violent they are.
Right.
It's how gross. This is how gross they are, grotesque they are. Go ahead.
It is not clear how or if such a claim by the Israeli state against the U.S. newspaper could be pursued. It's not possible that it could be pursued. If the United States, think about this, right? If the United States lets an outside entity sue anybody in the United States and then awards them a suit, that means that the United States is not being run by so-called Americans, it's being run by Israelis. Mm-hmm. That's the only way. So if this suit goes through, even if it hits the court, that means this country is being run by so-called Israelis. Now, we already know that the Israelis have the pockets of a lot of the congressmen, senators, and all of these other politicians spread across, America. You understand? And the things that we see, and we keep saying, well, how are they letting them? They have let, and everybody, let's go back for a second.
Go ahead.
Let's go back for a sec. We keep looking at Trump like Trump has all the power. Trump is the face of the United States. At the end of the day, he makes the final call. But the people who bring the laws and say, yes, you can do this, are your congressmen and senators. They are the ones that do that. Those are the people who the so-called Israelis have the chokehold on. The yoke is on them. You understand? But Trump is the face of every law, every budget sent to the Israelis, every piece of dollar that's sent to the Israelis, Trump faces on it. But those senators and congressmen are the ones who are pulling the string.
Right.
They are making the calls.
All of them getting money from APEC. They're getting paid by the Israelis.
Yep.
Essentially. You understand? The Israelis got their hand in everybody's pocket, and that has any type of political power in America.
Yep.
You understand? Including you, Governor Westmore. Including you, Governor Westmore. I know y'all love your blackity black governor.
Yep.
Oh, he's a Democrat and he's for the blacks and he's for the for the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, he is a politician, y'all.
Yeah.
He's a politician. Let's get some more. You want to get
people,
some?
and don't get it mistaken, they got people on both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, so don't look at them. They got a suit and tie. They got a
red tie or blue tie.
Or blue tie. Guess what? They all got an Israeli pen on.
Yep.
Remember when Hakeem Jeffries was doing that the filibuster?
Yeah.
He was up there doing the filibuster. Oh, we're so proud of you. The last filibuster was racist, and you're bringing awareness to the Democratic Party,
right,
and strength. By the end of that, he didn't start with the Israeli pen, but he ended with the Israeli pen.
Yeah.
He ended with an Israeli pen.
What's the other?
He getting that APAC money too, man.
Black dude that be wearing the Israeli pen too. It's another one.
Congressman.
I believe so. But at the end of the day, all you have to do, anybody that says is the Israelis have a right to defend themselves.
Yep, there you go.
Is supporting the Israelis, is getting paid by the Israelis. Anybody that says that, any black person that you see say that, because if you think about it, right, black people should be fighting for black people's rights. Anytime somebody doesn't stand up for the rights of black people, but can stand and say the Israelis have a right to defend themselves, that's who's getting paid by them. So all you have to do is listen to their rhetoric. And if you get a chance, all you have to do is ask them that question. Do they believe that the so-called Israelis have a right to defend themselves?
Talking about Gabe.
Being sworn in.
Huh? Him right there. He won too.
Well, I felt
just a couple of them, but it's the one that everybody knows real well. I can't remember the black guy name.
That's what we'll probably find it.
Yeah, we'll come across it, but that's all you have to do. Just like Cap said, that AIPAC is on both sides of the aisle. They're in a Democrat and a Republican, white and black. Matter of fact, they also with the East Indians too. You understand? They all support them, just like India is supporting the so-called Israelis right now. That's why Russia and China got upset with Modi, because he's supporting them. Him too.
First one.
Oh yeah, him too. But the first one, that's cheese man.
Right? Yeah.
Shows people all the time. They always remind you of a step and fetch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they try to justify why they in the Republican Party and all of that type of stuff, or why they in any party. Period. You understand?
Right.
Tim Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cory Booker.
Yeah, but we gonna figure out the guy's name. I can't remember.
No sweat, no sweat.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit more of this article because, it's just showing again his arrogance. But nobody's they don't deem the Palestinian as people. You understand? They deem them as like cattle or second class citizens or what have you.
Right.
So the world. Well, you see what they did to Gaza.
Yeah.
The world doesn't care, so they're going to continue to do their raping. Men, women, and children, and it's like the world is like is non-reacting.
Right.
I see a lot of think pieces on a bunch of crap on TikTok. A lot of think pieces on Drake. You got Israeli forces raping men, women, and children.
Right.
No think pieces about the white man being a devil from you. Maybe you should get a little bit of APAC money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of think pieces on a bunch of trash. But this is why we here. This is why we got these podcasts. This is why we got the grill, Commander Johanna, or Black Watch. That's ugly. The grill, old school.
Right.
It's like the Black Watch is good.
I think that had just was about to come to an end when I came in. The grill, and it went to Black Watch. I got a little bit of the grill and then Black Watch. But at the end of the day, everything that's happening now is leading. Listen, we already into World War III right now. This is every war that happens, it always starts with a spark, right? This is just the spark of World War III right now. And a lot of the analysts are talking about now, and they're saying, think about this, right? Commanding General Johanna said, even at the beginning when Russia, had the special operations against Ukraine, Commanding General Johanna had already called it. This is the beginning of World War III. Now, almost 4 years later, now these analysts are starting to say, "Oh yeah, it's starting to look like we in World War III." I believe this is the beginning. Now they're definitively saying, this is the beginning of World War III.
Oh.
You understand what I'm saying? And leading into World War III, it says the statement issued by Netanyahu and Gideon Saar on Thursday accused the New York Times of one of the most hideous and distorted lies ever published against the state of Israel in modern press. And the thing about it, they got so much evidence, and they were showing video about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. It's evidence out there, but these people are full of lies. You understand what I'm saying? And this is part of their DNA. This is what these people do. You understand? And
Shalom, sister Izarma. We see you in the chat. Shalom, your house, Martha, Bashibi Awasha.
Shalom, sis. But anyway, Israel Foreign Minister alleged that the writer Nicholas Kristof had based his piece on unverified sources tied to Hamas-linked networks. And that's the thing that they always say. Every time something comes up against them, it's always a Hamas-linked network or always a proxy of Iran, some kind of information sent in by Iran, some kind of defamation information.
They always say it's not a credible source.
Right.
Where did you hear that from?
How about that?
You heard the same thing in the files case with Epstein.
Right.
Well, then it's not a credible source, so we can't use that as leverage to prosecute anybody. It's not a credible source. Well, so they think this level of journalism is a bunch of propaganda. It's not. They are raping people.
Right.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, let's go on the credibility of them saying babies were beheaded, women were assaulted and raped. You understand? They have no evidence of that. That's supposed to be credible. They don't have any video evidence. They don't have any people stepping up and saying I was a victim or anything like that. They showed no pictures of
where they journalists at. Where's the, you know what I'm saying? It was just a bunch of hoopla on CNN and Fox.
Right.
You know, that which was the real propaganda.
No mothers crying of their unalive babies or anything. But you see that in Gaza. You definitely see that in God. You see the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You see the people coming on saying what happened to them. You understand? But I guess that's not credible enough. That's evidence is not credible enough. Can you finish this article, sir?
Let's get some more.
It says, in response, the New York Times issued a statement saying the Israeli prime minister has threatened to file a libel lawsuit against the New York Times regarding Nicholas Kristof's deeply reported opinion column on sexual abuse by Israel's prison guard soldiers, settlers, and interrogators. You understand? And they've been saying that about them for damn near since this war started. And if we can go back a little further, they've been imprisoning Palestinians for decades. And this is the story that has always came out, that's what the prison guards were doing to the Palestinians that was already locked up. Mind you, if you really don't know, the so-called Israelis have one of the biggest LGBTQ community parades on the globe over there in Israel every year. That's about to come up in June. It's about to come up in June. So it's not hard to believe something like that. You understand? Especially when you see the evidence.
Right. Sexual deviance.
That's part of it.
Rapists, murderous scumbag, man. Go ahead.
It says this threat, similar to the one made last year, is part of a well-worn political playbook that aims to undermine independent reporting and stifle journalism.
They saying any journalist, any news network that scrutinizes the crimes and immoral behaviors of the Israeli soldiers or affiliated people, that is so-called propaganda. That's their way of saying propaganda,
right,
or what have you. So they're trying to discredit this journalist. Go ahead.
That does not fit a specific narrative. Any such legal claim would be without merit. There has been a furious reaction to the New York Times article among Israeli politicians and media.
Why is that? Because they are getting that AIPAC money.
Yep.
You know, they not at Fox News and all these other cats. They ain't gonna say nothing bad about Israel. They're gonna say Israel is defending themselves, and they're going in there to protect the world from Arab people having weapons.
Right.
Why they don't have a chance to defend themselves?
Right.
From you? You're the aggressor. You are the invader.
Right.
You've always been the invader. You've always been the colonizer. You've always been the murderer, the polluter of the earth. These white devils are the cancer on the earth.
Right.
What do you got to do to cancer to be healthy again? You got to cut the cancer from your body.
Right.
God is going to cut this cancer from the earth and make sure this cancer never reappears in the earth ever again. That's what the Lord going to do. We ain't got to do nothing.
Right.
We just sit back and wait. We watching your arrogance, Mr. White Man. We watching your arrogance just like we watched Pharaoh. We watched Pharaoh get big and bold and come after the Israelites and got his entire army wiped out.
Right.
But you're so arrogant. You're so bold. You're so puffed up with money and power and influence. You don't think that you can be destroyed.
Right.
But God is going to make sure that you are destroyed and that you never exist on the face of this earth ever again. Was I clear about that?
You know what's crazy about that too? His words also has that state of Israel have them puffed up too. They believe that they can't be defeated. You ever see the old ladies talking about, well, we need to take Gaza because we need to build this and we need to put that in. Everybody, that the way that he speaks has them all puffed up like that. You understand? But it's the same, just like you said, it's the same thing that Pharaoh did. Pharaoh did the same thing and had all of his troops puffed up, and they believed that they could not be defeated. They got defeated. This is the same thing that's happening to our oppressor right now.
All right. Any more?
It says Israeli ambassador to the U.S. Yakil Lichter posted a video statement in which he said the only clear crime on display here is the violation of journalistic standards by Mr. Christoph and his paper.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Though.
Yeah.
It's like, these people get to talking, man. They, so-called U.S. politicians and Israeli journalists alike, or what have you.
Right.
They so full of it, man. They so arrogant and full of it. Go ahead.
It says on Thursday, scores of Jewish protesters demonstrated outside the office of New York Times in Manhattan, calling for Christoph to be fired. In his 3,700-word article headlined "The Silence That Meets the Rape of Palestinians," Christoph wrote that there's no evidence that Israeli leaders order rapes, but in recent years, they have built a security apparatus where sexual violence has become, as a United Nations report put it last year, one of Israel's standard operating procedures and a major element in the ill treatment of the Palestinians. This is part of their culture. This is what they do. This is standard living for them. You understand? So, Shalom, Lord Christ, what's going on with you, bro?
Lord Christ, up.
Yeah, this is standard living for them. This is just what they do. It says Christoph said his reporting was based on conversation with 14 men and women who said they had been sexually assaulted by Israeli settlers or members of the security force. The article carried first-person description by alleged victims of sexual abuse, including rape and assault with objects. That means they sodomizing them too. You understand? It also includes a claim by an unnamed person who Christoph said was a Gaza journalist that he was raped by a dog on the command of the dog's handler. Now, listen, if you can command a dog to rape somebody,
they trained it to do that.
Training. You took the time to get this dog to understand a command that makes him sexually assault a person. That's deviant right there. That's, what do they call that, Salaki, sir?
Bestiality.
That's bestiality, but it's even worse than that. It's an abomination. We know.
It's animal cruelty.
Animal cruelty. You understand? And I mean, that's a different degree when you take the time to train an animal to do something like that. God damn. It also, listen, it says there have been extensive reports in recent years, including by Israeli and Palestinian NGOs, which have compiled evidence of sexual violence used against Palestinian detainees. Last year, 2 Palestinian men separately told the BBC they were sexually abused while in detention. One of the men said a dog was used to sexually humiliate him. The Israeli prison service said at the time that in relation to one of the men, it was not aware of the claim described, adding that we operate in full accordance with the law. It did not comment on the second man's claim.
Real quick, hey, shalom to Michael Bell. We see you in the chat, shalom. But look, these people are absolutely grotesque, man. Absolutely grotesque. This is their nature, though. And then Benjamin Netanyahu is offended that somebody reports on crimes of your army, of your forces, of your prison guards.
Right.
Come on.
It's wait, you got.
Wait, you want to get some more?
It says also last year, 5 soldiers were charged with assaulting a Palestinian detainee from Gaza at SDE Teeman military prison, including one who was accused of stabbing the detainee's buttock with a sharp object. The case polarized opinion in Israel, with right-wing supporters accusing the left wing of using the incident to smear the security force. Listen.
No, it just got leaked.
Yeah.
It just got leaked. This is standard practice. Obviously, you understand. Not only with the Israeli Defense Force, but your so-called Marines, the few, the proud, the brave, the rapist. You understand?
Army,
Air Force, Marines, Navy. Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines. The whole game.
The whole thing.
You understand?
We got an article on that too. You understand? And this is a sidebar. A lot of people don't realize laws change once. Listen, the laws are terrible for us right here in America anyway. But a lot of people don't understand that laws really go left once you leave the borders of America. All bets are off, especially if you're in, like Cap said, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Marines, and especially
they got laws. Women. They got laws against it, but it's all bets off for them in their mind.
Yeah,
go ahead.
It's all bets off. But they said that even if you bring out evidence, they dismiss it and they lose it. You understand what I'm saying? I tell everybody I know 2 females personally that it happened to. It was reported and it got pushed out the door. You understand what I'm saying? So when this is the reason why Commanding General Yohanna said we should not join their military force, because we are the ones who always lose. Look how easy it was for Trump to erase black accomplishments out of the military. He came right out and did it. Who stood in Fort Ford? Think about it, right? Our policy. What the scriptures say? The scriptures say that they are lying down, loving to slumber. They are dumb dogs. You know, they don't bark when it's time. They don't alert us to the dangers that are about us.
Yeah, what was the NAACP?
Yeah, what was the NAACP?
Where were they at? Supporting a fake doctor.
We didn't even see that.
Supporting a fake therapist.
You know what's crazy? And it's heavy that you brought that out, because we never even, when that part came out, I don't think nobody even questioned that, where the NAACP was. I don't even remember nobody questioning.
Maybe the NAACP getting that APEC money too.
I believe they are, because think about it. Did you know it was 2 Jews at the top of the Civil Rights March, right? It's 2 Jews that was over top of the Big 6. It's 4 white men, but 2 of them was Jews. It had one that was head of the Catholic Church, and one was head of the Jewish Society. So if you think you're gonna stand up and talk against them, you got 4 oppressors sitting right over top of you, controlling everything that you do. That's how America's run right now. That's the reason why we can't get justice in America. That's the reason why it says we need to gather ourselves together. Because here we go again. It's the same old saying, right? And we hear it every day, but a lot of us take it for granted. But the truth is, we are all we got. Here in this UPK is where you're going to get the truth. And this is where every Black, Hispanic, and Native should be at.
All right. Huh?
I yield, sir.
I'm sure. Well, yeah, all in all, we're going to get one more article. We're going to drop that. But they sexual deviants, man. Right. Sexual deviants. They are raping men, women, and children. You understand? Training dogs to rape men, women, and children, and nobody can talk about it. Nobody can do a report. Like, they want to contain their lifestyle over there.
Right.
Bunch of rapists, man. And they think they justify because they think that they're the Jews.
Right. And look,
you know what I mean?
You got people questioning that now.
I heard
an oppressor asked, when did Europeans make it to the Middle East? When you start hearing Europeans asking that, they getting tired of you now. You know what I mean? And think about oppressors that's already over here, that's already tired of them, that understand now because they struggling, they know where their benefits are going now. You understand what I'm saying? Now, we've been in this struggle since we've been over here. So a Great Depression really is not going to affect us as much as it is somebody who has benefited off of everything. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the reason why they gonna go off first. And this is the reason why we need to come together, because we need to protect ourselves from what's about to happen. You understand? We need to step back and let them just ace each other out, because they only have themselves to be angry with. You understand?
He don't even care about his own people.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We're gonna get this other article here real fast. You get the Ebola.
Okay. You want me to get mine or yours?
I sent you to CNN.
Oh, you sent it to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll get that.
Good.
Okay, I got it. This is a CNN article.
Hold on, before we start. Last week we was just talking about the hantavirus, right?
Hantavirus, yeah.
We just hantavirus. We just the Lord ramping it up, Yeah, we think this is a game, and we told y'all that this is going to. I remember when COVID came out, man. The Lord, we was happy. Well, I don't want to say it like that, but like we was explaining that the Lord is bringing these plagues to the earth. Pestilences, man.
Plagues, yep.
Plagues to the earth, and that it was going to happen again.
Yep.
Last week, the world was in shambles. Every article, hantavirus, the ship, bomb the ship,
right,
bomb the cruise.
So like, hold up.
Before
we get into this, right? Let me ask you this: do you think they're using a lot of this to cover this war up, or this? I mean, we understand that the Most High bringing these pestilences back into it, right? But it's just funny how everything hitting at one time.
That's it. I think they using it. They okay, it's real for sure.
But they're
using it, and they're not reporting on what's happening in the Middle East.
Right.
They're just reporting on everything else.
Right.
I'm saying they're deliberately ignoring stories like the New York Times story to focus on other things that can cause mass distraction, or whatever.
Mass confusion,
or however you want to put it.
Before we get into it, right? I want everybody to know that two of those major sick people, they sent them to Atlanta, right? They sent them to Atlanta, one of the places where viruses spread rapidly. You understand what I'm saying? That's why would they take them all the way down to Atlanta, Georgia, not keep all of these people together? It doesn't make sense to spread them around the nation. You understand what I'm saying?
It was definitely handled horribly.
You understand what I'm saying? And you're gonna take two of the worst cases and then send them to Atlanta? They ain't even got control over HIV in Atlanta. So how do you do that? You understand what I'm saying?
And the way it spreads is like you gotta be in close proximity,
right?
You know what I'm saying, like in the house. So,
but think about this, right? How many? We was a block away from that major hospital in Atlanta when we went to the Passover,
right? 2 years ago.
Do you know how many black people was coming out of that hospital? When they when lunchtime came and when it was time for the shift change, it was hundreds of them. So it didn't make sense to me to send them to a place like that. But it does make sense when you're trying to destroy another people at the same time. That's something to think about. What Captain Tazariak say? Let that sizzle in your spirit. I mean, think about it though, right? A lot of things that we really don't look at what America does when it's posted in our face. But this hantavirus, think about it. This is a European virus. This ship was a Norwegian, not a Norwegian cruise line, but it was a cruise line that goes through European countries only. You understand what I'm saying?
I think they got on it. Did they get on that Argentina? That's what I thought.
I don't know, but I know the cruise line and the places that they said they were stopping at was all European countries.
Okay.
Spain happened to be one of them.
Right.
I don't know about the Argentina one, but I know everything that they was naming was European. You understand what I'm saying? So when they was over there in Greece and all of that, and Spain and all of that, they said it was a European touring cruise. So they was touring the European islands is the words that they used. So this is something caused by them. But if they cause something and then they bring it up and then all of a sudden, how do you bring it back to the United States and think you're going to cure it in the United States? A lot of people was asking, why don't you leave that boat on the water, send them doctors out there and cure them then, hold them for them 47 to 50 days right there. If they die, they dying out there. You know, you could burn them and drop them in the ocean, but once they heal, boom, then you bring them back.
But some type of it could have been handled a lot better. First of all, the ship produces housing.
Right.
Everything that a person needs is on that ship.
Exactly.
Or can be delivered to the ship.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's like a win-win.
To me, I just don't. It's baffling me because I don't know why. If this is a disease that has killed people already, why would you bring it in? When you could have, just like they did everybody, what they told everybody to shelter in place. They told you to lock yourself down. You should have locked them down right there in the water.
And then look, it said it take like
17 days for
symptoms, right?
For symptoms, it takes 17 days.
That's crazy. And then someone was on planes.
Right.
They landed in Atlanta, Sweden. And I don't think we even getting any more news on it as of yet. But now we on Ebola. One week later, it's a full-out outbreak of all three strands of the Ebola. One of them is like a 90% chance death rate. I think the lowest one is like 30% chance death rate. So the Lord is, listen, man, they couldn't contain it last. I remember the last outbreak, it was a panic worldwide panic.
Right.
You go into the goddamn patient first because you sneezing too much or something.
You got to stand outside.
You got to stand outside. Yeah. You got to put a mask on. This is before COVID. Right. I remember they said, "Have you got any symptoms? Have you took a trip to?" It was like they was not messing with Ebola. Ebola.
Yeah.
But let's get the article here. And in closing, let's get this last article about Kashad, right?
Yep. Ready? American infected with Ebola in DRC, which is the Congo. The Congo, what was it? The Congo, Uganda, and South Sudanese, South Sudan. You understand? 3 African nations. You understand?
And look, if I could, this is why black people gotta be in charge. You can't be up there whipping up the bats souffle.
Right.
That's why y'all getting sick. Ain't that how COVID started?
Yep.
Now I don't know if it's in this article per se, but they got another bat recipe, and now it's spreading like wildfire again.
Right.
Maybe we should not eat bat.
Right.
And it won't be an outbreak, an international outbreak of a deadly disease. Is that like too hard to comprehend, Mathon?
That's not.
I mean, goddamn.
Now, I got a question, right?
Come on.
Bats and rats are related, right?
Come on.
They related, right? So these two diseases
they call them rats with wings.
Yeah, rats with wings. Right? These two diseases are similar. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, you bring in Ebola and you bring in the hantavirus. You understand? Two I don't know nothing about the Hunter virus, but we know about the Ebola. So I'm gonna put it on the same level as Ebola. And then you bringing it into the country to deal with it. We have children ruling over us. People who think like children, who have no.
What the scriptures I call them brutish. Brutish like a dumb donkey.
Yeah, brutish like a dumb donkey. These people don't have their thought process. Oh shit. You just said it right. Think about who's running the country. Think about the people that he elected to be under him.
Yeah, I mean,
all of these people,
buffoons.
Yeah, buffoons.
I mean, you got a goddamn heroin addict as the Department of Health, right? He's against medicine. He's against Tylenol.
Right.
He's against vaccines. Some of the things that we'd be all day talking about.
Hold on, wait. All right, last time, right? Last time. This is the last one. Think about Hedgeseth. This dude got kicked out of the. How do you lead the Department of War? Is what he changed it to. After you get kicked out of the.
He's in the Army, right?
No, he wasn't even in that. He was a reserve.
He was in the reserve.
Army he was reserve. In a reserve. He got kicked out of that.
Hey, dishonorable.
If you get kicked out,
you get kicked out.
That's a dishonorable, right?
No. Yeah, that's a dishonorable.
So again, they elect Trump on what did they elect Trump on? Oh, he's a deal maker. But he got one of the worst deal making records in New York when it comes to New York properties. How many properties have he reneged on? How many properties have tanked on him? You understand what I'm saying? The only reason why he got money is because his people, his family had money. He makes shady deals that still fall through. So look at the people that whoever voted for him, they looked up to him for that reason right there, which was a cover reason. Everybody in New York and New Jersey knows that he's not a deal maker. You're not a deal maker if you paying people money to do stuff. It's not a deal maker. You just paying people. You understand? You paying people to take a fall. That's like a fighter who can't fight. So I'm gonna pay the dude to take a fall when we fight. You understand what I'm saying? He a sham. If you look at the whole industry, I mean the whole line from Trump down, they all a sham. Everybody only likes him. Why? Because he fire people. So I'm gonna do what you say do. Everybody. Until people start getting balls and started rolling out. The first person to get balls was what? Who was that? Marjorie Taylor Greene. She said, I had enough of this, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? A woman got balls first. You understand? Think about it. Everybody's still sitting there hoping that this thing pan over and we know it's not. But anyway, let's drop that. You ready to get this article, sir? God damn, we is into that.
But look, it's been 7 days since he was in these seats, right? Talking about hantavirus.
Right.
And that these more plagues is going to come.
Yep.
Here we are. And I don't think these hand mice is going to contain this Ebola virus.
I don't think so either.
So it's going to spread all throughout Africa.
Yep.
Up into the Middle East.
Well, let me ask you a question.
And you got them goddamn service members over there.
Ebola came over here the first time, right? And it came from there. It came from there the first time. Came from there the first time.
All right, let's get some more of this article and we'll expound on it and then close.
It says an international effort is underway to contain the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda, and that is believed by the Africa CDC to have caused more than 100 deaths. That's crazy, right?
Like it's long. How about you travel? I will wire in the chat. What's on cry?
Wire. What's going on, bro? But that's crazy, right? Because this Ebola just started a few days ago, right? And it's already caused 100 deaths. That's an outbreak right there. That's about to become an epidemic, and before you know it, it's going to be another pandemic.
And listen, this one is extremely fatal. The death rate is ridiculous. You understand?
Yeah.
Let's get it. Let's get some more.
They probably gonna let that shit. They're gonna let that shit go anyway because they're gonna believe it's gonna come into our community anyway. They're gonna let that ride.
Now, first you had the Chinese virus.
Yep.
China. Donald Trump, China. Now you got the Hamite, the Congo virus.
Yep.
Go ahead.
It said with the United States triggering a public health law to limit entry from the affected regions, an American working in the Democratic Republic of Congo tested positive for Ebola.
Already
working in there.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed Monday, though the CDC has not identified the person. The international charity SERS reported that a Christian missionary physician, Dr. Peter Stafford, had tested positive after presenting symptoms consistent with the virus. His wife, Dr. Rebecca Stafford, and another physician, both of whom were treating patients when the outbreak began, are being monitored for signs of the virus, but are currently asymptomatic. The charity said the couple's 4 children are also being monitored. Look at this. Look at these people right here. Can you?
You want to get them on camera?
Look at this. Look at these people here.
I got it up here. I think I got it up here. Hold up. You got a photo on the article?
These, yes. Let
me scroll down.
These are your atypical.
They can see them. Look at them. I know that.
I know. This is who does this stuff.
I'm gonna send it to y'all. So hold on. Look at this. This couple look creepy.
Look at them. That's your average couple right there. Babies and all. I bet the babies got it too.
Probably.
They go home, hug and kiss on their bed. And look, it takes a couple of days for that to pop up too.
Oh
my God. That look just like the people that work upstairs for me, man. At my job. They look just like the supervisors at the job, don't they?
Look, these cats look like something out of a horror movie. First,
yes, they look like
not to be carnal about things, but goddamn,
they're gonna be eating you after you go to sleep.
Yeah, tight family. Look at these.
Hey, come on in and pray with us.
This white family, scary, right?
Y'all watch the show From?
No,
I've seen that. I've been talking about watching
what stream service is on? I think that's Apple TV. I ain't got that.
No. But I see it on Roku TV too. They advertising for it on my Roku TV.
It's a series.
Yeah.
They might show a picture that I'm trying to describe. They look like
the atypical family on that.
Guys, because it's like a sundown town.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you can't go outside after sundown.
Right.
These people, they just walk through the city.
Right.
They be smiling, but they kill like alive.
Right.
That's on
but they be smiling the whole time.
Right.
That's on
yes. That's them right there.
That's on Apple too, but it's also on Fubo, Sling, MGM.
You got I got Hulu. That's why it pops up on my TV. Yeah.
It's on Prime. On Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But look, it's on Empowerment. You got more viruses coming into the earth. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They thought they had it contained the last time. Now it's back. They couldn't resist the bat soup Aliza.
I just think they running them experiments. They dropping that stuff in there trying to off these people.
Yeah, it could be that. It's a whole lot of things, but I know they eating that bat.
Yeah, we know they eat.
I know they eating that goddamn bat.
Bat and monkey.
Eating the bat, the monkey, each other.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
All right, but look, that's it. We're gonna wrap it up though. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started on 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commander General Anna. We've been teaching this truth since 1969 that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are in fact the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? We see y'all while you're here. Despicable. These goddamn devils is absolutely despicable.
Definitely.
But you know, we be back here Monday bringing out the all the news to your feed, you understand? That's relevant to our salvation, you understand? You understand? Yeah. Any closing remarks, Mr.?
Sir. Just remember that face y'all seen on y'all screen. Every time y'all see somebody look like that, you better walk around them. I ain't confronting none of them.
No doubt. The white man is the goddamn devil. And we're gonna get to the class, you understand? Shalom Israel.
Shalom Israel.
Bible, yeah.